What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to look at all 11 of the brand new icons in FIFA 21. Have a little look, see if they're going to be usable, see what their face cards say, and yeah, let's dive into it. So first one, we have got Eto. Now Eto obviously is a very hyped card, people are looking forward to this. His baby looks decent. The high 94 pace is obviously very nice. I think that's going to be quite a popular card. We also don't know how these cards are going to be laid out. Are they all going to come out to begin with? Are they going to be staggered like last year? But the baby looked good in terms of face value. The mid is probably the most balanced, I would say. Obviously with that slight pace downgrade, with the shooting upgrade, the passing upgrade, which I think is key because his passing is on the low end, and then the dribbling. See, I'm saying all of this based on as if all the stats were sort of level. Obviously, there will be certain things that change. So like, as we know on physicals, they could have high strength aggression and then have terrible stamina. So I'm just going to go with like an average ballpark. As to with the physicals, we won't know until we get full in-game stats for these cards, how exactly they're going to play, but it's going to be a rough guide for you guys. Yeah, the mid is balanced. The prime is a beast. The prime I like a lot. I think the prime is going to be a very expensive card if the in-game stats look as good as the face card value. 87, 90, and 92, so not overly high on those as overall ratings. Right, next we are going to Petr Cech. We are staying with another Chelsea player. Cech, obviously, it's a goalkeeper. We know the drill with goalkeepers. It's very hard to tell. It's the traits really that often determine whether a goalkeeper is amazing or not. And yeah, so Cech, obviously baby and mid have his cap, his helmet, which I think will be popular for a lot of people. Yeah, it looks good, but he's a goalkeeper. There's not really too much to read into with goalkeepers. It is what it is. It really just depends on the game and how they play. But we are staying with Chelsea. We're going to Ashley Cole. Ashley Cole, I think it's been done a little bit dirty on pace, I would say, just a little bit. Again, overall ratings, 85, 87, and 89 aren't that high. The prime I like a lot. I think that's a very well balanced card. Decent pace, passing and dribbling are pretty good. Defending is nice and high. Very good physicals as well. Well, acceptable physicals as well, I would say. The mid lacks the pace. I think that 4 points down on pace could be a big factor. 6 points down on the baby. So I think if you sort of got the baby, you may not want to upgrade to the mid. I'm not sure how much of an upgrade it really is. The baby, I think, lacks the physical. I think the physical could be an issue for that card. Again, it's really going to depend how that balances out, but with physicals that low, you've got to think that the stamina is going to be a little bit of an issue, which for a fullback stamina is quite key. So I'm not sure about Cole. I think he has been shafted just a touch here. We're going to stay with a fullback and go to, well, a guy that covers many positions in Philipp Lahm. We'll work our way through. So the baby is a left back. Again, hit with that low physicals, which I think could potentially be an issue for the fullback side of it, but we don't know. Yeah, the baby I like. It's a very good pace, very well decent passing, very good defending and dribbling. It's just that physical for me. That physical could be an issue. The mid and prime I like a lot more. I think they're a lot more balanced, especially that prime, I think, as a fullback. Again, very dependent on the physicals. It could be an issue, but I think the prime, if he's got good stamina, he's going to be a good right back. The mid, I like that very much. All round, well-rounded card, that 90 defending, the 88 passing, 85 dribbling, decent enough pace for a CDM. physicals shouldn't be too much of a problem for a central player. As a stay-back CDM, I like him a lot. I think he's going to be a popular card this year. We are going to stay with German. We're going to Bastian Schweinsteiger. Now, Schweinsteiger, an interesting one. He's got a left mid for his baby and then two centre mids for his mid and prime. Possibly with that massive pace, the most usable, but not as a wide player. I think he's one of the cards that you'd want to bring in centrally. So yeah, it depends. If there's a good cam that you could move out wide, swap them over, or centre mid, then potentially that baby could get some use. The prime is good as a CDM, but it just lacks pace. I mean, 80s in all of the other categories, which is very nice. But yeah, that lack of pace could be an issue. We don't know yet how important pace is gonna be, but it's normally pretty important. And I just see that mid is gonna get lost a little bit there because of the pace. And then the prime, I like that pace brings it up. The rest of the stats are good. It's very similar to Mateus. It's like a slow Mateus, really. Well-rounded in all those other stats. Bit more defensive probably than Mateus, I would say. But yeah, I don't know. He could be used purely this year because he's new and popular. But I definitely think there's a better German centre mid out there in Mateus. So yeah, I'm not sure how much Schweinsteiger will get used. We're going to go from one centre mid to another though. We are going to Xavi. Now Xavi is an interesting one because he is a centre mid card on all three, and well, he really is a centre mid card. He's not a cam because his shooting isn't strong enough. He's not a CDM because his defending isn't strong enough. I think Xavi could be good if you pass, and I mean if you pass like a lot, if you are a possession-based player and you've already got a CDM, you play a very narrow formation perhaps with centre mids, cams and CDMs, then maybe he'll fit in there as a distributor of the ball. But it's one of those cards that I just think, because FIFA is so different to how football is actually played, it just doesn't give a card like Xavi much justice, because obviously an incredible ball player, but I don't think FIFA's going to suit him at all with those low physicals, not amazing pace, low shooting, low defending. It's just a card that is stuck so heavily on passing and dribbling. I don't see it getting much chance in the game. The prime perhaps maybe at a stretch, but even then the prime will probably only be good early to mid game. Once we get team of the year, a few promos, he's going to get blown out of the water. He's not going to be giving you enough, I wouldn't have thought. But shame really for Xavi. We are staying Spanish, however, and we're going to go to another Chelsea player of Fernando Torres, but much more known for his Liverpool stint, I suppose. It's nothing special, nothing screams, yes, I want that card. Again, just an 85. Player like Buchigueno will just have the edge on him, who obviously comparing them as Spanish and attacking players. But yeah, he's got decent pace, but yeah, that passing is not very good at all on any of his cards, I would say, really. And then that dribbling is okay, the defending isn't important, the physicals aren't amazing either, so we'll have to see what sort of stamina he's got on there and how big of a role strength plays again this year. But yeah, that baby, not amazing. The mid looks better, the mid looks a little bit better in terms of that shooting is just that bit stronger, as is the pace. He becomes a sort of player that is gonna score goals. He may not be involved in too much play for you guys with that poor passing and okay dribbling and physicals. But the mid looks okay. The prime for me looks very good, other than the passing. If the passing is relevant stats, like if his short pass, long pass is nice and high, and say it's like free kicks that's in crossing that's really low, then maybe he could be really good. But yeah, I'm just not overly sold on this Torres card. I don't think on those base card stats he's going to be top tier. Let's move on to another striker, and that is SCHWEINSTEIGER, or however you pronounce it. I'm not sure on this one. He looks middle of the road striker, really. Again, all of his cards. The pace isn't amazing. Again, passing isn't top tier. The shooting and dribbling are good, but he's just another one. I think there are a lot of strikers. There's a lot of striker icons. Lineker, Wright, that are all similar, and I think he's going to fit into this category. I don't think people are going to be going out of their way to get him into their teams. I just think, yeah, there's nothing standoutish about this card in a position where there are so many icons. We always get so many special cards up front. I don't see this one being overly used too much. We're going to stay with a attacking player, and that is PUSKAS. He has got 2 centre forward cards and a striker. Not that it overly matters in terms of central players like this, but PUSKAS is good. This is the difference. You compare SCHWEINSTEIGER to this PUSKAS card, and he's top tier. He is top tier. I mean, the baby is really good for a baby. 89, 92, and 94 as well. So this just tells you that they thought this card is a lot higher tier than the others. That pace is good. I'm going to talk about the baby in the mid, really. The pace is good on both. The shooting 93, 95, very good. Passing is a considerable upgrade onto that mid. And I think, yeah, that's one of those that you may definitely upgrade to the mid if you've got the baby, or base, definitely a baby. I call it a baby. And then the physicals at that 4 upgrade as well. Defending not overly important, but it got a 5-point upgrade. The thing for me with this one is the mid to the prime is really not that much of an upgrade. It's 2 on the passing, on the pace, sorry, 1 on the passing, 1 on the shooting, 1 on the dribbling, down 1 defending, and down 1 physical. So I just think yes, it's a 2-point upgrade, but there's just not a lot in that upgrade. And so for me, depending on how we get these, how they're going to work, I would be sticking with the mid, especially if the prime is going to cost a fair whack more. I'd be like, really? I can see this card with the baby and the mid being very popular and the prime being a little bit less so, just because being a 94, it will probably have a higher value for not really much reason. So, but I do in general very much like this PUSKAS card. We're going to stay with the centre forward and go to the king himself. It is CANTONA. Now, CANTONA on face looks good, very good, and awesome, really. Yeah, well-rounded. Other than the defending, if we ignore the defending, you are looking at high 80s to 90s across the board. I mean, mid, that pace a little bit lower. Is it going to be an issue? Possibly, probably not too much. It's pretty even, but there's only 4 points between his lowest and his highest. Yeah, I think this card is going to play very well. I think this card is going to be a little bit like Zidane, bit of a baller. Yeah, it's a good looking card. It really is. You can tell why the promo has been evolved around him. We sort of knew he was going to get one of these good mega cards. 88, 90, 93. Yeah, could have been a little bit higher, I would say, possibly. I've probably done him a little bit. I think the defending is the reason they've done him a little bit dirty there. You look at that 88 and his card stats are 287s, 188, and 290s. So yeah, maybe they've done him a little bit harsh on terms of the actual rating, but that could be a good thing. It could mean that the value doesn't go too high, but I think this is going to be an expensive card this year. Final one, fellow United man, we've got Vidic. Now Vidic, looks, well, I put baby okay to start was my, was my note on this one, which I definitely think, again, it's an 85 starting card. I think that pace of, or the lack of pace for the mid, I think is going to be a no-go. I think that dropping down is just not going to be good enough. I don't think you'll have much joy with that. But the 77 and 78 pace looks so much better. Obviously the prime does look good on this. That 7 increase on the passing, which I think is quite important. 4 up on the dribbling, if that's his balance and agility coming up, then that's going to be good. Defending itself is up by 7 on the baby. 4 on the physicals, 1 up on pace. Prime, top tier, very good. Gonna like that one a lot, especially if we can get our hands on that one early in the game cycle. But that baby, I think, yeah, day one, well, not necessarily day one, but early doors, if you can pick up this card or pack this card, I like that vintage. He won't last forever, but yeah, definitely to begin with, I think he's going to be a good centre-back option for a lot of you guys. There you go, that is it. That is all of the new icons in FIFA 21. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Is there anyone that you are definitely going to be picking up? And what are your thoughts in terms of icons in FIFA 21? Do you think it's going to be icon swaps like it was last year, or are we going back to icon SBCs? Which would you prefer? Let me know in the comments down below. Smash the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, as always, with another video. Peace.